Pwede po bang mangyari din po yan sa inyo? May utos nyo ang lifestyle check?
In fact ho, meron nga ho tayong mga ahensya na ng gobyerno na nagkakandak naman po ng lifestyle checks.
Apo, kayo po, ginagawa niyo po sa BIR para wala na po yung mga tanong na ilan ang kotse mo, ilan ang ano mo, mga ganyan, ilan ang bahay mo, ilan asawa mo,
Naku, ito na ang pinakamatagal na inaantay ng ating mga kababayan kaugnay dito sa issue ng mga maanumalyang flood control project. Sa wakas, maghihiring na ho ang Blue Ribbon Committee. Pero bago yan, isang like at isang subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga gusto sumama sa ating community, yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Wala ho tayo maraming pag-uusapan dito sa video to. Re-recta ho kagad tayo dito sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. Yan. Okay. Ay, hindi yan. Ito. Yan.
Good morning. At the outset, let me just state for the record that the Blue Ribbon Committee has not yet terminated the inquiry in aid of legislation on the anomalous flood control projects.
Nako, yan na. So ano yan?
Be that as it may, I have directed the committee to commence crafting with the crafting of a partial committee report in that regard. However, due to the volume and gravity of complaints regarding the issuance of LOAs and other related issues or activities in the Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Anak ng Petrang Garapata, hindi ho pala flood control pag-uusapan natin dito sa video na to. Yung pinakamainit na issue, yung hinihintay ng ating mga kababayan, hindi ho pala yun ang pag-uusapan dito sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearing na to. Mantakin nyo mga kababayan, mas importante pa yung LOA na yan compare doon sa trilyon na nawala sa sambayan ng Pilipino, doon sa daang bilyong nawala sa sambayan ng Pilipino dahil sa kakurakutan diyan sa mga maanumalyang flood control. Ngayon mas uunahin pa ho nitong si Pinky at itong LOA na to. LOA.
The Senate resolutions filed by the Vice Chairman, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, the inquiry is being held today and the Blue Ribbon Committee is again convened to conduct this inquiry in aid of legislation. So we are honored by the presence of the Acting Secretary of Finance, Frederick Go. Good morning, sir. And two former and one incumbent commissioners of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, namely Attorney Kim Enares, Attorney Romeo Lumagi, and Commissioner Charlie Mendoza. Welcome. The others will be, the presence of the others will be acknowledged by the Committee Secretary later. Yeah, I'd like to also acknowledge the presence of the Senate President. Good morning, sir. And as I mentioned earlier, the Vice Chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee, Senator Erwin Tulfo, who authored resolution number 180, actually. And also Senator JB Ejercito. Welcome back, JB. You're online.
Online.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay na yung platelets mo. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome back.
Nadenggoy ka ba, Brad? Nadenggoy ka?
Even via Zoom or WebEx. Yeah. So, Attorney Kimbo, kindly, wala ba si...
On leave po sa
on leave. Okay, please kindly acknowledge the presence of the resource persons.
Good morning, Your Honors. Today, the witnesses present are the following. From the Department of Finance, Secretary Frederick D. Go. From the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Commissioner Carlito Martin Mendoza. Attorney Rufino Cantaros, Head Revenue Executive Assistant. Mr. Luis Sixtus Esquivas, Office of the Commissioner. Then we have Regional Director Renato Molina, Revenue District Officer Trinidad Villamil, Revenue District Officer Renato Mina. We have Revenue District Officer Lorenzo de los Santos. We have Revenue District Officer Yolanda Zafra. We have Revenue District Officer Antonio Manggubat. We have Revenue District Officer Celestino Viernes. We have OIC Chief for Large Taxpayer Audit Division, Miguel Angelo D. Alfaro. OIC Chief, Excise Large Taxpayer Audit Division, Ryan Calvin Morga. We have OIC Assistant Chief, Excise Large Taxpayer, Francis F. Nabwa. We have OIC Assistant Chief, Regular LO Audit Division, Pauline Lydia M. Reyes. We also have Mr. Josh Allen Pilapil, Technical Assistance, Office of the Commissioner. From the Chief...
I'm actually here to listen. So I will...
Nako, hindi ba kayo interesado ng malaman kung anong nangyari dun sa mga maanumalyang flood control project? Kung sino ba talaga ang mastermind? Ano yung LOA na yan? Anak ng toko. Anong LOA?
Giving way to the author of Resolution 180, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and the author of Resolution 201, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Vice Chairman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Today, this Blue Ribbon Committee convenes to confront a matter that strikes at the very core of public trust and governance.
Meron ba bang mas titindi doon sa nangyaring korupsyon doon sa mga maanumalyang flood control project? Ito talagang mga tulpo na to. Oh, itong matitindi talaga tong mga to eh. Balitaan ko yung mga nangyari sa kapatid mo. Balita ko, kinukuha na daw siyang talit ngayon eh.
The misuse and abuse of the Bureau of Internal Revenue's letter of authority and mission orders. Instruments that by law should protect the integrity of our tax system, but which have reportedly become tools for harassment, coercion, and worse, extortion. For years, small
Lang kwenta to, tanong, ito.
and big businesses mula po sa maliliit na family convenience store hanggang sa malalaking korporasyon have raised serious concerns recently. Many claim that they were subjected not to fair tax assessment, but to pressure, intimidation, and questionable demands in exchange for the withdrawal or softening of tax investigations. Kahit po ang mga international companies, hindi na ninyo pinatawad, pinatos na ninyo. Itong mga kumpanya na ito na nagdadala ng trabaho, teknolohiya at pamumuhunan sa bansa ay hindi raw nakaligtas sa ganitong uri ng pang-aabuso ayon na rin mismo sa iba't ibang foreign chambers of commerce dito sa ating bansa at mismong ang kanilang mga ambassador. Let me be clear. The purpose of the letter of authority and mission order is to ensure that taxes owed to the government are collected properly, transparently, and lawfully. Hindi ito dapat gamitin bilang sandata ng pananakot o instrumento ng korupsyon. Unfortunately, only 2% of the total tax collected by the BIR from the business sector came from LOAs or mission orders. The 98%, ladies and gentlemen, from voluntary tax payments by the businesses. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, 2% lamang ang pumapasok sa kaban ng bayan sa total tax collection. Yung the rest, 98% voluntary. So where did the rest of the collection go from these instruments? E di po sa bulsa ng mga examiner, RDOs at regional directors. Ganito po yung modus, Mr. Chair.
Nako,
25% lang ng koleksyon kasi napupunta sa gobyerno yung may resibo. 75% goes straight to their pockets. If these complaints are true, then we are looking at systematic abuse that harms not only individual taxpayers but also the nation's business climate and international reputation. Kapag nawalan po ng tiwala ang negosyo, lokal man o foreign, nawawala rin po ang trabaho, nawawala ang kita at oportunidad para sa ating mga kababayan. Today, this committee will seek the truth, Mr. Chair. We will examine how LOAs and mission orders have been issued, enforced, and allegedly exploited. We will ask hard questions. We will demand clear answers. And we will hold accountable anyone who has betrayed their sworn duty to serve with integrity. Our goal here is simple: to restore trust, protect our taxpayers, and ensure that public power is never, ever again used for private gain. Maraming salamat po. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman Tulfo. Senator JV, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our Senate President, of course, our colleague Senator Tulfo, blessed good morning. The very instrument meant to ensure lawful tax compliance is being weaponized for corruption and extortion. Sinimulan po natin buksan ang issue ng pang-aabuso ng ilang kawani ng BIR sa pamamagitan ng issuance ng Letter of Authority o LOA noong Department of Finance briefing para sa 2026 budget. Inulit ko ito sa plenary interpellation ng budget at lumabas na pati pala sa iba pang nating mga kasamahan na senador, marami na rin pong sumbong sa kanila. Lalo na ang mga ambassador at mga miyembro ng American European Chambers ang may umangal na laban sa mga LOA ng BIR at nakakahiya na talaga po tayo. Alam natin na ang mahalagang papel na ginagampanan ng BIR sa pagpopondo ng mga programa ng gobyerno. Ngunit base sa mga impormasyon natin, tila na agrabyado ang gobyerno dahil pinagkakitaan din ang tax collection. May mga lumapit po sa ating tanggapan at may kanya-kanyang sumbong, ngunit ang malinaw ay ito. Mayroong umiiral ng mga modo sa BIR na nakukuha natin dahil sa mga nakuha nating mga impormasyon. Ito po ang sumusunod. Ang letters of authority, ang multiple LOAs. Ang una pong modus base sa mga report sa atin ay ang pag-issue ng multiple LOAs within a taxable year or succeeding taxable years. Naranasan daw po ito ng mga taxpayer mula sa Quezon City na Jurisdiction and Revenue Region number 7A kung saan sa loob ng 6 na buwan, 4 na LOA ang inisyu sa kanya. Ikinwento na rin po ng isang sender na 4 na beses na siyang nagkaroon ng LOA mula sa BIR Lawag, tig-2 para sa kanilang mini grocery at kainan. Isa lang siyang pangkaraniwang negosyante na nagsusumikap para sa pamilya at sa 3 nilang anak. Utang sa bangko ang kanilang pinambayad sa BIR. Ang isa pa ay bloated or unsupported assessment, Mr. Chair. Bukod po sa multiple LOAs, mayroon din pong lumalabas sa mga report sa atin tungkol sa bloated na halaga ng tax assessment na walang basihan. Ang report po sa atin ay nag-offer, halimbawa ang BIR examiner sa City of Manila, na isettle ang LOA sa halagang 400,000 all-in dahil hindi sila pumapayag sa hinihinging lagay, naglabas ang examiner ng assessment na umabot ng 13 milyon o 13 million pesos. At nakakapagtaka raw dito dahil ang gross sales lang ang nagnegosyo ay 12 million pesos. Hindi pa nababawas sa expenses pero mas malaki pa ang assessment kaysa mismong kinita. Wala ring sapat na suporta o basehang dokumento ang pinapakitang computation. Isang negosyante rin, Mr. Chairman, ang nag-report ng kanyang naranasan kung saan ang original assessment amount niya na umabot ng milyon ng halaga ay na-negotiate niya na bumaba hanggang 500 hanggang 800,000 na lamang. Sa halagang ito, 100,000 lamang ang may resibo at ang balanse ay sa bulsa na napupunta. Ang problema raw, taon-taon na siyang may LOA dahil pumapayag siya sa settlement na lamang. Naging cycle na po tuloy ang extortion. Meron po nabanggit kanina rin po ang ating kasama si Senator Tulfo, yung po sa scheme, yung 70-30, minsan po ay 75-25 pa. Nabanggit ko na po sa ilang interview tungkol sa 70-30 na modus kung saan magit 70% ng halaga ng assessment na binabayar taxpayer ay nabubulsa ng mga taga-BIR at halos 30% na lamang ang may resibo at napupunta sa kaban ng bayan. May report din po sa atin sa negotiation pa lamang ay nakaset na ang compromise amount kung saan 20% o 30% lamang ang para sa gobyerno at ang remaining portion ay paghahatian na ng examiners, supervisors at higher-ups kung gaano kataas umabot ang kickback. Yan po ang dapat nating alamin. Ang isa pa ay extortion in the guise of compromise. Naranasan na isang korporasyon sa Bulacan ang modus na extortion in the guise of compromise. Sa impormasyon na nakarating sa amin, ang tax examiner ang mismong nag-aalok ng mas mababang halaga para sa 30 milyon na deficiency na inoffer na 1.2 milyon na lamang at 800,000 for the boys at 400,000 ang nasa resibo. Mas malaki po ang kickback kaysa sa resibo. Sa isang report natin, lantaran na tinatanong isang examiner kung magkano ang budget. Malaki o maliit ang isang negosyo, target ka ng BIR at pareho po mga kwento ng mga business owners na ito. Nagagamit ang LOA sa harassment, coercion at pilit na negosasyon. Ang negotiation ay hindi upang ma-resolve ang tax deficiency, kundi ito ay upang masigurado ang halaga na mapunta sa kanila. Sa halip na tulungan natin ang ating mga kababayan na lumago ang negosyo, ginigipit pa ang pinagkakakitaan. Takot din po ang ating mga kababayan na magsumbong sa BIR offices dahil sa pangamba na mas lalo sila pag-iinitan at gipitin. Mr. Chairman, sabi nga po nag-email sa akin ng kanyang LOA experience ay 2 klase daw ang tax natin ayon sa BIR. Ang unang klase, magkano sa BIR at ang pangalawa naman, magkano ang sa amin. Nakakalungkot po na mula sa isang malaking ahensya gaya ng DPWH hanggang sa isang bureau katulad ng BIR, kanya-kanyang scheme, modus at kanya-kanyang scam na ang ating mga kababayan. Nagsimula sa floodgates, ngayon naman po ay LOA naman po. Mr. Chairman, we have to stop this culture of corruption that is now plaguing this country. Mr. Chair, maasa po ako na magiging ng committee na ito upang matigil na itong ganitong pang-aabuso sa ating mga kababayan. Makikinig po tayo at maghahanap ng mga kasagutan at solusyon. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator JB. Point of clarification lang, are all or some of these narrations in affidavit forms?
Mr. Chair, most of them are sa mga emails that were sent to my office. We will be submitting the same to the committee.
Kasi alam niyo naman, you and I know na dalawa yung aspects ng mandate ng Blue Ribbon, di ba? Inquiry in aid of legislation, yung sa accountability of public officers, and investigation. The other aspect could lead us to filing criminal complaints, no? Administrative and criminal complaints against those who may be held accountable for their action. So kaya ako tinanong kung naka-affidavit form or if at all, kung mako-convert natin into affidavit or sworn statements yung mga narrations. Kasi these are damning narrations, di ba? Or experiences.
Yes, we will do our best, Mr. Chair. As you all know, lahat naman ng tao, mostly businesses are afraid. Takot talaga sa BIR. Lahat naman tayo, kahit takot sa BIR eh. So we will do our best that we will be able to submit some in affidavit form, Mr. Chair.
Para magkaroon lang ng, para maging admissible lang.
Same thing with this
time.
representation. Same thing with this representation, Mr. Chair. We will ask these people because they just sent emails. Some of them are like cooperatives. We will communicate with them to send us affidavits, Mr. Chair. So
or we may invite them, ano? Para dito
I
sila
don't think
mag-testify.
they will be interested in coming over, Mr. Chair, because sabi nga po ni Senator JB, kinakatakutan po yung BIR. Mas takot pa po ang mga negosyante sa BIR kaysa sa mga NBI, police. Makakita lang po ng BIR, nagsasara na agad ng tindahan, ng bahay. How much more pupunta dito face-to-face, tuturo ito mga ito. So, I don't think, Mr. Chair, they'll probably submit an affidavit, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, for the information of the body, I personally invited Attorney Kimenares to join us this morning. Wala tayong invitation sa kanya eh. So, in-invite ko siya kasi she stayed in the bureau, I think for the longest time, full 6 years under the term of the late President Aquino. And I thought na she could help us shed light or even enlighten us. No? Bigyan tayo ng parang walkthrough do sa process on how laws are issued hanggang sa termination. Paano nagko-conclude. Tapos ano yung pakinabang ng gobyerno out of the laws issued and other issuances like MOs, di ba? Merong mission order and other activities like the formation of task forces. So gusto nating ma-account ano ba yung accomplishment. We don't really care that much kung ilang task force yung kinrate nyo, pero dapat merong output, hindi ba? Natural lamang. So with that, with your permission, with your indulgence, Mr. Senate President, Senator Tulfo, may well, teka muna. Meron ba kayong opening statement, Secretary Go? Opening remarks?
Your Honor, I may make one?
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
yes, please. You recognize, and after you, maybe the incumbent and the two former commissioners.
Grabe na pagpasok ko ng administrasyon na to, lahat ng pwedeng pagkakitaan, pati yung mga nasa baba dahil nakikita nila lahat ng nasa taas puro magnanakaw. Diyan sa BIR ngayon wala nang nangyari kundi nakawan, extortion, pangingikil. Aba talagang matindi ho ito ha. Ano ito, konektado ulit ito mga kababayan, baka akala nyo itong ginagawa ni Ping Lacson na to, baka akala nyo na-divert niya attention. Pero ang ating nakikita, yung bigger picture na kung paano katindi ang korupsyon dito sa administrasyon nitong si Marcos Jr. Panahon nitong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, hindi ko kayang gawin yan ng isang ordinaryong empleyado dyan sa BIR, yung tipong mag-i-extort sila. Pag nagsumbong sila doon sa 8888, naku may kalalagyan kayo sigurado. Pero ngayon balita natin, wala na ho ata yung 8888 na yun
The other will just respond to questions. Thank you. Please proceed, Secretary Go.
Thank you. The Honorable Senate President, the Honorable Chairman, Senator Lacson, the Honorable members of this committee, the Secretariat, my colleagues in public service, fellow Filipinos, good morning. Thank you for inviting us today, the Department of Finance and the Bureau of Internal Revenue. The DOF extends its full support and cooperation in addressing the long-standing concerns of our taxpayers regarding red tape, audits, and alleged weaponization of letters of authority and mission orders. These concerns go to the heart of our mandate to uphold integrity in tax administration and protect the rights of the Filipino taxpayer. Allow me to state at the outset that we welcome this investigation. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has made it unequivocally clear we will not tolerate corruption in government. The state's power to tax must always be exercised with fairness, transparency, and accountability. As such, we are committed to instituting reforms, correcting gaps, and ensuring that our systems are accountable and truly responsive. Consistent with the President's marching order, my first major directive as Secretary of Finance was the temporary suspension of all field audits and related operations effective immediately. This was formalized under RMC number 107/2025. DIR Commissioner Charlie Mendoza and I are fully aligned with the President's goal of cleaning up the system, restoring integrity and public confidence, and implementing reforms. I would like to reiterate, Your Honors, we will not condone any form of harassment, let alone corruption. With the support of our revenue authorities and stakeholders, we are determined to put a definite end to these alleged abuses. The Bureau of Internal Revenue is currently working on several key reforms. I will leave that to the Commissioner to expound on those plans and reforms that we are planning. The DOF remains fully committed to working with the Senate and all our stakeholders to pursue reforms that strengthen governance and deliver a fair, transparent, and predictable tax system. Reforms that will empower the Filipino taxpayer to contribute actively and confidently to the nation's growth. With this, I respectfully submit myself to the committee's questions. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Secretary Go. Commissioner Mendoza.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Honorable Senate President, the Honorable Chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, the members of the committee, my fellow public servants, good morning. We from the BIR appear before you today with openness and humility to respond to and to clarify the issues that brought us here, and to listen, learn, and work with the Senate to strengthen our tax system for the Filipino people. Recent public concerns about the issuance of the audit authority, redundancies, and inconsistent enforcement resulting in growing taxpayer frustration deserve careful and transparent examination. We welcome this scrutiny that requires us to look at the system as a whole. We must recognize that the problems before us are twofold. First, there are issues in enforcement, how BIR's audit authority is exercised on the ground. We acknowledge the need to reduce discretion, strengthen accountability, and ensure consistent implementation across all offices. Enforcement must be firm, predictable, transparent, and anchored in fairness. Second, we must address the clarity of our rules and the strength of our monitoring and oversight. Faithful compliance with audit procedures requires rules that are clear, justified, and free from ambiguity. We must eliminate arbitrariness, remove repetitive or overlapping issuances, and establish near-time monitoring of ongoing audits. These improvements, many of which can be enabled with the help of an integrated digital system, will reinforce the checks and balances between enforcement and oversight. Rebuilding trust requires reform on both fronts, correcting how enforcement is carried out and ensuring that rules and oversight mechanisms are clear, consistent, and transparent. When the system itself demonstrates integrity, voluntary compliance follows, not because of fear of punitive action, but because taxpayers can rely on a process that is fair and predictable. 2 weeks ago, we temporarily suspended the issuance of letters of authority to give us the space to reevaluate and revamp the audit process. We view today's hearing as an accelerator of that work. We recognize that the reforms ahead must be pursued in partnership with the private sector and our stakeholders, the DOF, and critically with Congress, because legislation and internal governance must advance together for reforms to take root. Our goal is simple: a tax system that is fair, transparent, credible, and effective for national growth, implemented with service excellence, rooted in integrity and professionalism. Mr. Chair, honorable members of the committee, we sincerely and respectfully stand ready to work with you towards reforms that will strengthen our tax system and better serve the Filipino people. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Mendoza. Commissioner Lumagi.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, members of the Blue Ribbon Committee. To everyone, good morning. I have no prepared statement, but first, let me recognize that, or let me acknowledge that itong issue po na ito ay talagang malaking bagay. And from the very beginning, when I was appointed in 2022, November, that was the first thing that pinag-isipan po natin na i-address po yan. So that's why when I started in 2022, I crafted my approach in BIR into 4 pillars, which are number 1, integrity and professionalism of the institution and its employees. Yan po yung isang pangunahing programa na inilatag po natin. And number 2, of course, in conjunction with the excellent or bringing about the integrity and professionalism of the institution, we focused also on the digitalization program of the BIR. That would focus also on the integrity and professionalism as well as give excellent taxpayer service. Kaya naman po dun sa pangatlong programa po na inilatag po namin ay yung pagbibigay ng magandang serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan na nagtatransact sa iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno ng BIR. At pang-apat po, of course, to level the playing field dahil ito pong fearless and aggressive enforcement activities which are meant not just to collect taxes from the big-time tax evaders. Again, ang naging focus po ng mga task force at ng mga ginawa po natin na paghabol sa mga tax evaders ay ito pong mga malalaking mga negosyante na napatunayan po natin na nag-evade ng mga taxes. That's why we went all-out war. We waged all-out war against
all-out war daw. Ano naman daw all-out war? All-out war daw sila sa mga malalaking kumpanya. Ang bihira, oo. Pero inahabulo nila yung mga malilit na negosyante. Ay, nako, BIR. Siguro mas malaki kitaan doon sa mga malalaking kumpanya. Yun, may abogado kasi yun, mahirap kasing intimidate yung kaya ayaw nilang pasukin yun. Kaya dito talaga all out war. Pero yung mga karinderya, yung mga sari-sari store, wala kasi. Lang abogado yun, pagka lumapit yung BIR, automatic na yun, bayad ka agad o kung ano mang gusto nung may dala-dala ng dokumento. Kain ka muna dito.
illicit trades and all these illicit traders. And this is also, again, as I've mentioned, not just to collect taxes from these big-time tax evaders, but also to protect the legitimate taxpayers and legitimate businesses because we want to level the playing field. Gusto po natin na ipakita sa ating mga negosyante na kapag kayo po ay nagnenegosyo ng tapat, ay mas magiging maayos ang pagnenegosyo ninyo at tutulungan ng BIR. Yan po yung naging focus ng stint ko po as BIR commissioner. That's why ang naging resulta naman po kahit paano, of course, I'm recognizing that there's a big problem that still exists and needs to be addressed. But in that course po, marami po tayong nakasuhan ng mga big time tax evaders. Ilang daang milyon po ang mga nakolekta natin from them, and also in the history po, malaki po yung naging collection. We in the past for the past 20 years, ngayon lang po na-attain ng 2024, na-attain ng BIR ang collection target set by DBCC. At yan po ay resulta ng ating magandang pangongolekta ng buwis. And also, we were likewise recognized by different several agencies like yung pong civil service na we were given a plaque of recognition for outstanding performance in complaints resolution and compliance in 2024 and 2025. We were also given a plaque of recognition by the Careers Executive Service Board for attaining 100% efficient and effective management of our agency. At yung amin pong resolution rate ng mga complaints with 888, 100% resolution rate. At pinapakita lang po natin na nung panahon po natin ay we take all these complaints seriously and we always act on all these complaints. And all of these complaints, again, as patunay po na inaaksyonan po natin ang naging decisions po at resolutions and formal charges na itala po nung panahon ko po ay mahigit 132 cases, including mga nagsagawa rin po tayo ng mga entrapment. Meron po tayong pinakulong ng mga BIR employees. Patunay po na inaaksyonan po natin lahat ng mga willing magsumbong po sa atin ay pinapanagot po natin. So again, with all these makakaasa po kayo, kaisa niyo po ako nung na i-recognize ito, and I will really do my best and will help this committee shed light on all of these issues, and hopefully this will be solved because it really needs resolving. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kim Inares.
I don't have an opening statement.
Bigyan niyo na kami ng yung sinabi kong walkthrough sa process.
No,
paano ba halimbawang nakakita tayo na target tayo ng isang taxpayer? Wag na muna yung voluntary, ano? Meron tayo targeted. Paano tayo nagsisimula at paano tayo tatapos?
Yeah. I just want to make clear, no, the letter of authority is important for enforcement, no. Although 98% of the collection of BIR is voluntary and only 2% is from all these assessment, that letter of authority push behavior of compliance, no? So, yun hindi pwedeng mawala yung takot. Kasi marami hong hindi nagbabayad, no. Meron study na we have not collected more than 1 trillion pesos, no, from tax evasion and all those things. No? So the letter of authority is important. I can only discuss the process during my time because they have changed it.
Nevertheless, so we can also compare how it evolved, ano, over time.
Yeah, during my time, the first thing I did is I removed TVNs, yung tax verification.
Meron kaming glossary of terms na very confusing. NOD, PAN, FAN, FDDA, FLD, so many terms. So baka pwedeng isama nyo na sa enlightenment namin yan.
Before, the BIR investigate using 2 instruments, no? Actually 3. A letter of notice, which is when we compare, di ba, may bot system tayo. So yung mga taxpayer, binibigay ho yung mga data, so kino-compare namin yun purchases, sales ng bawat taxpayer. Kung may discrepancy, sinusulatan namin, sinasabihan namin sila, no contact audit ito, no? Hindi namin sa pinupuntahan, sinusulatan lang namin na parang may diferensya ho yung nire-report nyo. Pwede ba explain nyo o kaya i-support nyo? So yun ho yung letter notice. Pangalawa, letter of authority. Yan ho yung issue na pinag-uusapan ngayon. No? Yun yung LOA. No? So, yan ho, kung walang LOA, walang letter of authority, hindi ho pwedeng pumunta yung tao ng BIR dun sa taxpayer at hindi niya pwedeng buksan yung mga libro ng taxpayer. So, importante yung letter of authority kasi yan yung, but parang sa police, kung wala kang search warrant, wala kang warrant of arrest, hindi ka pwedeng pumunta dun sa tao. So, kailangan mo ng letter of authority. Yung mission order naman ho, MO, yung initial na MO, usually this is issued because you want to do surveillance. No? So, meron kang suspecha na hindi mo siya nag-i-issue ng resibo, hindi niya nire-report lahat. So, magbibigay ka ngayon ng mission order, pwede mong tayuan sa tabi yung kahera. No? So, bawat transaction, yung BIR naglilista.
Anong basic difference ng LOA sa mission order?
Yung mission order is gusto mong
Specific.
malaman. Yeah, you're physically there looking at the transaction. No? There, when the customer comes in, bale, may kahera, nandito yung BIR na tao. So, namomonitor niya, kung nga gagawin niya ng 3 days, so di makikita niya lahat na 3-day transaction, so i-compare niya dun sa mga nire-report. So, kung nire-report niya sa 3-day, kakatayo niya dun, is 100 million yung pumasok. Tapos tinignan niya yung nire-report niya, 10 million lang. Bakit ganyan? No? So, yan yung mission order.
Sino, Mr. Chairman, sino nag-i-issue ng mission order?
RDO at saka regional director ho ang nag-i-issue ng mission order. Hindi naman ho yan ang commissioner.
Regional. So, hindi commissioner, di ba?
Hindi.
Yung regional or
RDO, Revenue District Officer.
Revenue District.
Yan. Tapos may dati may TVN, Tax Verification Notice. Ito ho, ini-issue rin ho dati ng RDO lang, no? So, parang pwede rin itong instrument to audit. So, during my time kasi, meron kaming letter of LAM, meron kaming system, kung mag-i-issue ho yung regional director and RDO ng letter of authority, papasok sila sa sistema na sasabihin niya mag-i-issue niya sa letter of authority. Tapos from there, yun ho mag-print out nun papel, yung papel na accountable form. No? At saka yung sistema na yan, i-input mo yan doon kung sino yung examiner na mag-o-audit. Tapos lalagay mo rin doon ano yung resulta ng PAN, Preliminary Assessment Notice. Ano yung resulta ng FAN, Final Assessment Notice. Tapos kung settlement, ano yung settlement? 0605 yun, no? Yung form ng BIR 0605, that's the payment. So all of that, you will put in that system. So yun ho yung pag-monitor ho ng National Office sa field, sa lahat na nag-i-issue ng letter of authority. Dahil may sistema ng ganon, wala sa TVN, tinanggal ko ho yung TVN para isa na lang letter of authority, no? Para namomonitor ng office ko, no? ng commissioner's office. So yun ho yung proseso ng pag-o-audit. Saka isa rin hong dapat hong monitorin, di ba? Ang problema kasi ngayon, yung LN, yung letter notice na no contact audit, sinabi ho ng Supreme Court na hindi ho pwedeng mag-assess dahil from LN. Kailangan lang letter of authority. Kaya siguro napapansin nyo, sa isang taon, 4 na LOA ang nai-issue kasi yung dating LN, ini-issuean nila ng letter of authority. No? So, nagbabat return kayo every quarter. So, 4 na quarter yan. So, letter of authority mo, 4.
Wala bang limitation ng pag-issue ng LOA to a particular individual or entity?
No, during my time, I issued a audit plan, no? And in it, there's a specific provision that said you can only audit a taxpayer 2 consecutive years. Kung kung gusto mo siya i-audit ng 3rd year, kailangan sabihin mo na may fraud. May discrepancy ng malaki, no? Tsaka yung assessment mo malaki. Kasi kung hindi mo malaki, tatanungin ka, bakit yan ang pinili nyo? Ang dami-daming ibang taxpayer. Bakit siya ulit? Ang liit naman yung kinokolekta nyo. So, in 2015, I issued an audit program where there's a specific provision that you cannot audit a person third consecutive time, except if you can say there's fraud. Kasi we allows the second.
In 1 year? Oh, let's say in 1 year. How many times can...
There's no limit. No, kasi ang nangyayari ko sa kanila ngayon, mag-issue sila ng first quarter VAT letter of authority, second quarter letter of authority for VAT, third quarter letter of authority for VAT, fourth quarter VAT letter of authority. Tapos nun, yun mga hindi, tapos may fifth, yung year na yan, all other taxes na letter of authority. So, pag binilang mo yan, 5 na yan. Diba?
In 1 year?
Yeah, pwedeng 5 in 1 year dahil doon sa sistema na yan. Kasi nga sabi ng...
5 in 1 year para sa isang taxpayer
Yeah,
lang.
pwedeng 5 in 1 year the way it is done now.
Diba? Parang feeling haras na yung individual.
Yeah.
O yung...
So, kasi dati, nagle-letter notice lang ho kami na sinasabihan lang namin yung taxpayer, alam nyo, may ni-report kayong purchase. Pero yung sinabihan nyo na binilahan nyo, hindi naman nagre-report ng sales. So, explain nyo nga bakit ganyan. No contact audit yan. Kaya lang, the Supreme Court said you cannot do that. I think one of the legislative reform that should be done, because we're all pushing toward digitalization, and globally, the move is also to non-contact audit. So the
Related question, how is a LOA served at saka where is it served?
it is served in the place of business of the taxpayer.
Not in any other place?
Yeah, not in
Yung iba
any-
kasi sa mall eh. Sa mall, sa restaurant. Kung saan magsalubong, doon na lang ini-issue. Pwede ba yun?
Dapat it's in the place,
Dapat in
of,
the place
business,
of business.
where he said his place of business.
So outright, kung sinerve ito sa mall, nakipag-meet sa mall, nakipag-meet sa restaurant, may violation.
Yeah, because that you are supposed to serve
Subject
it
to
in the place
administrative-
of business.
Subject to administrative sanction. Kagad.
It can be, yeah, because you're not serving it properly.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the place of business at wala naman yung boss, pwede mo naman iwan dun sa manager. Diba? So,
But that makes it suspicious, ano? Bakit sa mall magkikita?
at saka kung hindi nyo siya makikita sa place of business, paano nyo siya nakita sa mall?
Eh, kung ayaw tanggapin.
Ha?
You're bringing it to the place of business. Ayaw tanggapin.
Then you do an affidavit that I served it and they did not want to accept it. So there's deemed service. You know, there's a way. Pero yung sa
Segue lang
mall,
sandali kay Commissioner Lumagi. Mali pala yung nagawa niyo, dito niyo naserbihan si Diskaya ng LOA?
Mr. Chair, first of all, kung pwede lang po, clarify lang po yung na-mention kanina na 4 na LOA per quarter, for a year. Hindi po ganun ang ginagawa. 2 lang po ang maximum for VAT because ang batas namin semestral po. So, a maximum of 2. And then for large taxpayers, 1 lang po yan sa 1 taon ang VAT audit. So, wala pong 4 po ang VAT na LOAs na nangyayari po.
So yun na yung evolution, ano? During the time of Commissioner Kim, hanggang 5 po pwede. So nag-evolve
Kasi po
ito
ang
during...
pagkakasabi po
hindi
ngayon.
ko kami nag-issue ng 5. We're
Nandito
not,
kanina parang umabot ng 5 eh.
hindi, sabi ko, pwedeng umabot sa 5 ngayon dahil doon sa ruling ng Supreme Court. Kasi every quarter nagpa-file kayo ng VAT return, tapos every quarter nag-encode kayo ng summary release of sales and purchases.
So why did you limit it to 2 in a year?
Dahil dyan po rin nag-consolidate semestral. So, twice a year lang po talaga ang VAT. Hindi po tayo nag-i-issue ng
Tapos
4.
maximum 2.
For VAT po, Mr. Chair. Yung sa regular, kasi po ang setup po kasi may regular yung Revenue District Office, sila po yung nag-i-issue ng authorized to issue LOAs for all internal revenue taxes. But meron po tayong na-create, I think, that was during because of the IMF recommendation and nagtayo po ng VAT audit section for regions dahil sinasabi po malaki ang VAT gap natin na kinakailangan ayusin para makakolekta ng VAT because at that time relatively new yung concept ng VAT. Kaya nag-create ng VAT audit section or VAT audit unit na tututok sa particular tax type ng VAT. That's why nag-create ng VAT section. So ang ino-audit po ng VAT audit section ay mga VAT, yung value-added tax types lang po.
Ito na yung BATAS at saka BATAW.
Yan po. So kaya nagkakaroon po ng ibang multiple LOAs pero magkakaiba po ang ino-audit. For Revenue District Office, yung regular all other internal revenue taxes, kapag nag-issue po ang VAT audit section, VAT lang po ang ino-audit niyan. Kaya po yan yung dinidiscuss po na multiple LOAs dahil may all internal tapos meron sa VAT po.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Hindi, just to clarify, kasi pwede naman kung hindi mo matagpuan, ano? Like for example, you iniiwasan kayo ni Diskaya, Pero dito, na-serve mo yung LOA sa kanya.
Kasi may hearing.
May hearing eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Nakalagay lang naman po kasi dyan, again, as I've mentioned before, yung mga diskaya po ay hindi po talaga nila tinatanggap. In fact, we also filed a criminal case for violation of subpoena dahil hindi po talaga sila tumatanggap ng mga notices ever since when we started auditing them even last year. Dahil lahat po niyan, hinahabol po natin at nakita po natin na malaki po yung kanilang tax liabilities. That's why we were forced to serve the LOA with the permission of this office.
Mr. Chair, few
Yes, yes, for the record, I allowed it.
Mr. Chair, ang problema ko kasi dito, former Commissioner Lumagi, in this committee, ito pong iba't ibang LOA, may VAT, may tax, iba-ibang tao ho ito Mr. Chair. Ang problema, yung negosyante, bugbog po sa kalalagay. Kasi iba-ibang tao. I-issue ng VAT dito, bukas makalawa, next month, isang VAT na naman, ibang tao.
Hindi, balita natin, nagsalita daw ho itong si Senator Robin Padilla. Pakinggan ho natin.
Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po sa aming pininong higit, Senator Panfilo Lacson, at sa amin pong Ginoong Pangulo, Senator Vicente Soto III, at sa amin pong boses ng masa, Senator Erwin Tulfo, sa lahat po ng aming panauhin.
Ito talagang si Senator Robin, tinan niya tinanggal yung pagiging bulero niya. Anak ng tawa, yung mga binanggit mo na yan, Sen. Ano mo na lang, acknowledge mo na lang, pero yung bubulahin mo pa.
Isang magandang tanghali na po. Ako po'y siguro naitanong na po ng lahat. Yung akin na lang pong katanungan makapagbibigay ng hinga sa inyo. At alam ko naman po, at alam naman lahat, sa buong mundo, taxman lagi ang kinakatakutan ng tao. Nasa Biblia nga po kayo Kaya pagpasensyahan nyo po kung marami po kami mga katanungan dahil bilang kami po ay senador, kami po ang boses naman ng taong bayan. Kaya yung amin pong mga tanong sa inyo, hindi po para idiin kayo, kung hindi para tanungin lamang po kayo. At ito po mga tanong ko naman po ay hindi naman po ganun kabigat, katulad po ng mga tanong ng boses ng masa. Ang tanong ko lang po ay, katulad po halimbawa, ako po ay may panukala patungkol po sa freedom of information. Gusto ko lamang pong malaman kung ang mga tauhan po ba ng BIR ay nagfa-file din po ba kayo ng SALN? Lahat po, obligado po kayo. Kasi po kami, sa utos po ng aming Ginoong Pangulo, ipinablish po yung aming SALN.
Nako.
Sa inyo po ba may pagkakataon na magpapublish din po ba kayo ng inyong SALN? Pwede po bang itanong yan sa atin pong commissioner sa ngayon?
Ang SALN naman po, these are public documents.
Opo, so
This can be accessed.
So katulad po ng, ay hindi po, kasi sa amin po, talagang in-order po sa amin ng aming Ginoong Pangulo na ilabas namin ng aming SALN. Wala po kaming nagawa. Kayo po, bilang commissioner, dadating po ba ang punto na yon na para po mawala yung agam-agam ng ang mga taong bayan, meron po bang ganun na pwede po kayong gawin?
Titingnan po namin yon. Meron pong 16,500 na kawani ang Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Ay, makaligayahan po ng taong bayan yan. Kahit po mapuno ang social media, kaligayahan po nila yan. Kasi kami din po, sa utos din po ng aming Ginoong Pangulo, na lifestyle check po kami. Pwede po bang mangyari din po yan sa inyo? May utos nyo ang lifestyle check?
In fact, meron nga ho tayong mga ahensya na ng gobyerno na nagkakandak naman po ng lifestyle checks.
Apo, kayo po, ginagawa niyo po sa BIR para wala na po yung mga tanong na ilan ang kotse mo, ilan ang ano mo, mga ganyan, ilan ang bahay mo, ilan asawa mo, yung mga ganun.
Magagawa po namin yan sa BIR.
Ilan ang ganito mo, ilan ang kasama. Pambira talaga itong si Senator Robin.
Opo, malaking bagay po yan. Opo, kasi alam niyo po, ang ating pong bayan ay dumadaan sa napakatinding pagsubok. Kapag tayo po ay naging transparent sa tao, ay makakalma po sila. Sa panahon po kasi ngayon, talagang ang tao po sa totoo lang po, ang dami ko pong pinuntahan ng mga pagpupulong, ang gusto po ng karamihang grupo ay wag nang magbayad ng tax. Civil disobedience po ang nais nila. Ako po na po yung nagsasabi, wag niyong gagawin yan. Dahil hindi naman po lahat ng tao sa gobyerno ay may kapalpakan. Kaya ako na po ang nakikiusap na sana maging transparent po tayo lahat.
Yung mga kababayan naman ho nating naiisipan nila, hindi ho tama yan ha. Pero hindi naman ho natin masisi. Sa dami ng mga kapalpakan na nangyayari ngayon, pag nanakaw ng mga opisyal ng pamahalaan, kawawa ho ang sambayan ng Pilipino.
Lahat po, para ang taong bayan, hindi na po nag-iisip ng mga civil disobedience o ano-ano mang mga bagay na makaka-distract pa po ng gobyerno natin. Isa na lang pong tanong, Commissioner. Ako po kasi, nung panahon nung ako po ay artista pa, ako din po ay naging revolusyonaryo. Lagi ko pong inaaway ang gobyerno. At noong mga panahon na yon, na-weaponize po sa akin ang tax. Ako po'y nadali talaga ng tax. Ngayon po ba mapapangako niyo po sa akin na hindi na po yan magagamit para maipit ang mga nagsasalita ng hindi, alam niyo man po, ng kanilang kalooban sa gobyerno?
Nako, Senator Robin Padilla, ginawa na ho yan, di ba? Yung mga nagsasalitang mga vlogger dito sa administrasyon, anong ginawa nila? Anong pinatawag sila sa House of Representatives? Nandiyan ang AMLA, nandiyan ang BIR, nandiyan ang DOJ. Ano nakita nila? Wala. Wala ho talaga mga kababayan. Akala nila ganun kalaki talaga? Hindi. Karamihan